Hey, welcome back to Books and Coffee. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I cracked the GATE exam in my very first attempt. So this video is especially for students who are confused about what to study, which books to trust, and how to organize preparation for English literature in GATE. So I will be sharing the exact resources I used, how I approached each session of the syllabus, and how I prepared for the compulsory reasoning and the comprehension section as well. So before jumping into resources, it's important to understand the structure and syllabus of the exam. So GATE exam, it has an overall structure which includes a compulsory section which contains reasoning and comprehension, and our subject, that is English. For English, we have multi-genre literatures in English, Anglophone and comparative literatures, literary criticism and theory, history of English literature and English studies, research methods and interpretive tools. Along with that, we need to look at verbal aptitude and quantitative and analytical skills. So this is a structure and the syllabus of GATE exam. So once we understand the structure, the preparation becomes more focused and less overwhelming. Let us begin with literary theory. For literary theory, I primarily relied on one core book, that is Beginning Theory, an Introduction to Literary and Cultural Theory by Peter Barry. So this was my foundation text. I did not try to read multiple theory books initially. Instead, I read this book multiple times and made concise notes. From this book, I focused on formalism and new criticism, structuralism, semiotics, post-structuralism, feminism, Marxism, post-colonialism, reader response theory, cultural materialism, and psychoanalytic criticism. I also made sure to understand what each theory focuses on, key terms, and how the approach changes the way we read a text. I also paid attention to the idea of post-theory, which looks at the limitations of rigid theoretical frameworks and encourages interdisciplinary and contextual reading. So this is important for contemporary questions. Along with Peter Barry, I occasionally refer to English Literary Criticism and Theory by M.S. Nagarajan. I did not read it cover to cover. Instead, I picked specific chapters to clarify concepts or revise a theory from a different perspective. For Anglophone and comparative literature, I focused on breadth rather than memorizing everything. And the book called The Norton Anthology of World Literature helped me a lot. So this helped me understand major literary movements across regions, canonical authors, cross-cultural literary developments, etc. Like I read it and I tried to understand the major literary movements. I used this mainly to map timelines, movements, and representative writers. For Indian writing in English, my primary resource was A History of Indian English Literature by M.K. Naik. This book is extremely important because it gives a clear historical overview, major phases of Indian English literature, and key authors and their significance. If you want, you can also read the book regarding the history of Indian English literature by Arvind Krishna Mehrotra. Along with this, I read selected works by key writers. I focused on R.K. Narayan, Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, Anita Desai, and Kamala Das. While reading these writers, I made sure to note important works, year of publication, central themes, narrative style, and social, political, or cultural concerns. You don't need to read everything they wrote. Instead, understand why they are important and what makes their writing distinctive. For multi-genre literatures in English, this section actually includes poetry, drama, novels, short stories, and non-fiction. I read William J. Long's History of English Literature. The book helped me to understand literary periods, representative texts, and connect genres with historical contexts. Also, there are a lot of genre-specific introductions like the Cambridge Introduction to the Short Story in English. In case if you have time, you can refer. This book, The Cambridge Introduction, is also excellent for understanding evolution of short stories, narrative techniques, and key practitioners. If you have time, you can check or you can refer. Again, here Peter Barry's beginning theory was also helpful and useful because it helps you to see how different theories approach different genres. For research methods and interpretive tools, for this section, I didn't overcomplicate things. I mainly referred to research methodologies in English studies. It's actually general research handbooks. And you can also refer to a lot of YouTube videos available, which will actually summarize the point that you need to know for GATE exam within 15 to 20 minutes. You can check YouTube videos. Use the help of online platforms. That will in a way help you to understand how literary research is conducted, different research approaches, and interpretation and analysis. So that in a way will act like a practical guide for your research methods and interpretive tools. After all this, if you have time, feel free to read the Norton Anthology of English Literature also, because it is in a way a compiling of multi-genre literatures in English, and it will help you in all the subchapters of the syllabus. So what I did during my preparation is I divided my preparation into theory, literary history, key texts and authors, and revision through questions. I made short notes, concept maps and timelines. So instead of memorizing, I focused on connections between texts, theories and historical contexts. And there is this compulsory section, and this section is common for all GATE papers and should not be ignored actually. So for this, I practiced PYQs, which focused on logical reasoning, analytical thinking, basic numerical reasoning, and English grammar and vocabulary. So I solved previous year GATE questions and practiced 1 or 2 mock tests to improve speed and accuracy. While giving the exam, please remember that GATE exam carries negative mark. So please answer whatever that you are sure. And you can also use your 50-50 probability method. Like if you are sure of 2 options, make your good luck. If you are lucky enough, you can actually get a better fortune in that. So cracking GATE in the first attempt is not about reading everything. It's about choosing limited but reliable resources, revising consistently, understanding concepts deeply, and practicing PYQs. So if you're preparing for GATE English, trust the process and don't panic. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video was helpful for your preparation, and all the best for the exam.